Hi everyone, my name is Vera, and you're watching another episode of Madiff Talks, our space to bring tech leaders, product people, and innovators to discuss the hottest topics in tech. With all of the buzz around AI, we were probably taking too long in preparing an episode on the topic, but of course, we wanted to make sure we were bringing the right guest for our first conversation about AI and its implications. So, our guest today has a very broad vision of business and technology and how they intertwine from bestseller to futurist to engineer and research and probably a lot more, but I will ask her for help to help me complete. Today I'm here with Martha. Hi Martha, how are you?
Hi, Vera. Wonderful. Thank you for having me here. So wonderful talking to you.
It's my pleasure to have you joining us today. Before we jump into our topic, like I said, I might need your help to complete this never ending list of stuff you do. So please just give us an overview of your background.
Okay. I have a multidisciplinary background. I'm engineer. I have post-graduation in marketing design, and also I have business education in at MIT Sloan. I'm a futurist. So I teach artificial intelligence in a university. Also, I work with the technology education for several years. I write books and a lot of small things here and there. And also today, I mostly am a speaker in big conferences and discuss that, and I'm a researcher. Also, I could add that my passion in life is education and technology. I think this is because for me, these are the two most powerful instruments in the world. So if you have education and if you have technology, you actually can do anything, and you have freedom, and you are in the right place. Actually, I think this was like this all along the history, the evolution, etc. And also, I'd like to show a little bit my previous books. The two last ones, I have more, but this one is artificial intelligence, and I launched last year in Portugal first, and then in Brazil. And this one, Me, and the Robots, it's in Portuguese, which is about technology and how it affects us, etc. So these are my patients, and also this is interesting because I said I'm a speaker and also I'm a writer. But speaking is easier for me, but not in English. As you can see, I have accent, and sometimes I
No,
say.
not at all.
And actually, once when I started speaking English in conferences, I used the word screw, and actually I was in doubt if it was a bad name or not, and everybody laughed, and then I say, oh, okay, maybe it's a bad name. I should not say that. So I hope not screw anything here today. And also writing is something that I do, but it's not easy for me at all. To speak is very easy for me, but not to write. But anyway, I insist, and here I am writing and discussing the things I love most. So that's it.
And we are very happy to host you with such a background. Of course, we will try to also leave the links to some of your TEDx talks because those are must-watch episodes for sure, and people can also see you in a much comfortable environment, perhaps. And like I told you earlier, I am very, very excited with this conversation today. I'm not going to lie. And first, I wanted to talk to Marta, the researcher, probably. And then with time, I might talk to your other personas. But as for now, we explored a little bit of your last articles where you mentioned AI 2.0 and how it empowers final users by giving them access to AI systems. In your perception, why does this universal access can cause more fear than concentrating the same power in hands of a few giant corporations?
I think this is about knowledge and ignorance together. Because when you have everybody using this, everybody knows about that, and everybody start to using this, it's knowledge. So you are spreading knowledge. But on the other hand, people don't know exactly how it works. This is a huge problem, actually. Not only AI, but anything that gets hyped or start going out very, very quickly, people start using and talking about that, but they don't really know what is going on. And especially AI, I have been talking about that for several years now. When media starts talking about AI, they say AI is always the same thing. So AI is in your fridge, AI is in your car, AI is something like the powerful machine learning that you use for something else. So the first thing I think is when people start using and everybody starts talking about that, and you don't know exactly what you are doing, it stirs fear, and you get a little bit, wow, what is going on here? Also, in the same way that web, when we had web 1.0, this is the analogy I do here. Web 1.0 was dominated by companies, and companies used to create websites, and people used to use that as something they have more or less ready for them. So sometimes they didn't realize what was going on inside of that. When we start having Web 2.0, and then people start publishing blogs, and they had the power to use the social media, it spreads like hell. And then we could see very good things, a very wonderful power, everybody's hands, but also we see a rise of several problems. People sometimes express themselves in a very dangerous ways, and privacy concerns, etc., etc. So this is the same now. I think when big companies were using AI, and they are using at least for 10 years now, everybody that uses Google or Waze or Facebook or any kind of very top software are using AI on the background. But actually, people didn't know that. So they maybe I think the sensation, the feeling I have is that people would talk about AI much more like fiction than something that were in their daily lives. When they start using Chat GPT, then they start prompt just a line and prompt AI to answer things, and the answers are sometimes very impressive. This is, in my opinion, the trigger for a larger movement and spreading. And actually, I think this is the tip point, or maybe the tip of the iceberg for much larger knowledge or cognitive revolution. I think we are mixing more from now on our minds and the computer mind. So one helping each other. We are going to talk a little bit, I suppose, about the dangers of that also, but for now, I think this is the main reason people start using. They don't know yet what is going on, but they have the power. So this is the context we are now.
I will want to go back to that with regards to ChatGPT and everything that is coming with it. But as for now, I wanted to go a little bit closer to the beginning of your answer, which was you've been talking about AI for years. And the idea for people who are outside is that it became probably more spread for a year, for roughly. And actually, for the past few months, it feels like every month there's a new startup developing new usages for AI, and even now there are still a lot of them dealing with innovations in ways that we didn't foresee. For some reason, we didn't foresee. So feel free to ask some help to Martha, the futurist, let's say. But we want to know, when you look at the future, what new AI applications or technologies we might see emerging in the next decade, for example?
Very interesting question, because when we think about future, it's futures with S, because there is not only one future. There are several scenarios. And one of the scenarios is the one we want to, that if we do everything right, everything going on with ethics and all the stuff that is the right stuff, we are going to talk about that probably, we probably are reaching the Society 5.0, which is the Japanese definition for the future, using all the powerful technologies from the fourth industrial revolution, all together, converging and making our life super smart. So we are going to have smart cities, smart health, smart education, smart industry, smart everything. So all data from IoT, plus all power of AI, but we can add this robotics and quantum computing and all these technologies. But if we don't do this right and we do wrongly, and we are in risk of doing a lot of things wrong here, if we don't do right, we have some problem of there is 10% actually, Harari and Elon Musk and a lot of other people say that humanity could finish at all altogether. So we could really disappear from the planet. And then one example that Harari says that I like actually is that if you had 10% of a crash in a plane, imagine that a pilot tell in the beginning, oh, we have 10% of a plane to crash. Would you enter this plane? Would you enter flight with this is complicated. So we have a scenario that's not good, and we have to work all together so that we don't reach this scenario. But if we do, all the applications, we are going to see much more startups. And we are seeing ChatGPT in the beginning of the year was GPT-3. Now it's GPT-4. And we are seeing a lot of improvements in quantity and speed and all the parameters. So we are speeding this pace of development. So I think these are the two scenarios that we are facing here, and some in between.
I think so. So far, we are probably 100% aligned because you already mentioned something that we were also very curious to debate with you, which is the idea that a lot behind AI is not necessarily new, right? We've been using AI for a long time without knowing. And one of these things that are probably not new is fear. And by fear, I mean fear that these technologies might be replacing human labor. And now touching ChatGPT, because you've mentioned it twice by now, specifically ChatGPT, we have seen its applications and activities that are mostly human made. And please forgive me if you've been bombed for the past months with this question, and I believe you've been, because every professional in AI probably had to develop some sort of content about it. But how do you perceive this possible replacement of human workforce by AI?
Maybe we should give a step back, going to the basics. Human and technology, we together make a smart system or intelligent system. From the beginning of the times, if we think about the first humans, we used to do everything with our bodies. For example, to dig on the earth with our bodies, and then we develop a technology that help us to dig, and then the intelligence of the system increases, and then those humans start doing other things than digging and using the tool. So, and from then to now to AI, it's the same thing happening again and again, with some revolutions in the middle of the way until we arrive here. So in every revolution, tech revolution, we have jobs lost and jobs created, everyone. But the problem is, it's very easy to see which jobs are going to be replaced, or actually the activities. We don't replace jobs at all altogether. You usually replace activities, and then after a while, the jobs. The difficult thing here is to predict which jobs are going to be created, emerging from that. It's very hard to do. People cannot imagine that. So in this sense, we know already that these jobs are going to arise. The greatest, actually a few days ago or recently, the World for Economics released a research that we have much more jobs being created than being destroyed by AI or any technology. The problem is, in this actual revolution, the speed is so fast that sometimes people who lose jobs cannot educate themselves or be in the right place, right time to get the new jobs. There is a more difficult pace or connection. One example, in 2018, I was in a conference in the United States in Silicon Valley, and they were already talking about some robots with AI that were replacing workers in storage houses. But these workers didn't have the education or money to educate themselves and also to move to other places that were offering jobs. So now we have a very, very different or actually critical scenario. And we start talking about universal basic income, universal minimum income, because if people are going to start losing jobs and sometimes they are not going to work in other jobs, we cannot lose people. Actually, I love a quote from Taleb that he says something like this, that the society is as developed or as good as how it treats the the most vulnerable people, the people who has nothing. So I think we are in this dilemma nowadays. And how can we help people to not get behind and we put everybody on the wagon? Also, still answering this question, there is a possibility that we really need to work less and we don't have to work at all. Maybe it can happen. This is one of the scenarios. And then I'd like to make a comparison that can enlighten us how we cannot imagine what it would be. I don't know if people have read here about the agricultural technology or the revolution when men started to work with or beginning the era of agriculture. This is the first time in history that we can domesticate food. We can create food. Few people can create food for a lot of people. And if we imagine this scenario, few people working can have food for all other people, they would be with nothing to do. Remembering, before that, it was hunting and gathering things. So at this moment, when people started doing nothing for feeding, they started thinking, innovating. They had time to do other things. And this is why we are here, because we had time to do other things than produce food or any other things that we used to do before that. So this is the kind of thing I think sometimes, okay, can we imagine what it will be when we have so powerful technologies here, and then maybe we can create or evolve to another situation? So this is some scenarios we have here.
Okay, so let's stay in that scenario, because you actually placed yourself a question that I was hoping you would answer yourself too, which is, we are in a scenario, like you said, that is finding new ways to use AI again and again. But the thing is, it's doing it so fast, and it's why probably people are feeling a little bit afraid. And they're finding new ways to use the technology in various industries and with different purposes. And I think most of the buzz around the topic comes exactly from the possibility of applying AI to a very big amount of things. And you said, now we have to re-educate ourselves and be ready for new jobs that we can easily adapt to this new environment. So what abilities do you believe that will be indispensable for humans in the future?
Great question. To remember, I was talking about human and technology, we form an intelligent system. So in this intelligent system, when technology started doing something, humans cannot compete anymore. It was like when you are a shovel or a car, you cannot compete with a car. You have to use the car, otherwise you lose the race. It's the same thing with every technology. So now we have technology that is entering or doing better some cognitive things that we used to do. So when it starts, we have to do things that technology cannot do. And what technology cannot do, at least now? The human things. So the soft skills. This is why we are talking so much about soft skills, because these are the human skills that differentiate us, at least for now, from machines. So communication, negotiation, creativity, empathy, emotion, everything that is unique for humans, which is complex, are the most valuable abilities for human beings. I have a TEDx where I separate this in 3 categories. There are a lot of abilities in the soft skills, but the first one is digital mentality, or understand what is going on. The rules are changing every day, and you have to understand not technology, but what technology changes in our world. So the rules, what is going on. The second, in this category, in this first category, we have critical thinking. That for me is the most important ability ever in the age of AI. You need to figure out what is going on, and the critical thing is the thing. And the second category is adaptation. We have to adapt. And in this category, we have agility, communication, resilience, and a lot of abilities. And the third category is humanity, the human skills. So emotion, empathy, ethics, things that make us human and guarantee sustainability of humanity, because otherwise we are going to have troubles, as we said before. So if you have to invest in something, invest in critical thinking and human skills, something that machine doesn't do. I used to say that if you don't want to be replaced by a computer or by a robot, don't be a robot. So if you can describe very easily what you do, a robot can do that. If you cannot describe it very easily, this is probably complex and probably something human, then you are a little bit safer.
I think that's why it's interesting to have some professionals like you that mix a little bit of what our business needs to what technology can do, and keep both perspectives alive, and not let technology at a certain point come by any chance above the human side. I know you've developed some studies in different areas like neurosciences, like linguistics, and of course in AI too. So you also have a very cross industry understanding of some challenges that are preventing us probably from creating more advanced and capable AI systems, like you were mentioning early in our conversation. So can you somehow walk us through some of these challenges so we can have an idea?
Yes. The first thing is we need to understand which AI we are talking to. So there are 3 levels of AI, and we are in the first one. And a lot of discussion in the media is when we are reaching the second level. So the first level is the narrow AI, which is artificial intelligence can do one thing very, very well, but it can do one thing. Like ChatGPT is very good at words, and the autonomous car can drive it. The AlphaGo Zero can play chess much better than any human, like a superhuman level. But they do just that. And as they go and they start doing more things, they one day maybe arrive in our level, which is general. Our level would be general artificial intelligence. In this level, like humans, maybe I'm not that smart or that intelligent playing chess, but I can play chess, I can read books, I can talk, I can drive a car, I can do a lot of stuff. So when AI arrive in this level, and which we call human level, regardless if there is consciousness or not, but this level of intelligence. In this level, AI can create other AIs and even more intelligence. And then we go to another level, which is the super intelligence. When the systems arrive in this level, the human level, this is what we say that we reached the singularity. Singularity means we don't know what is going to happen from then. The rules of the world maybe change, probably they are going to change, and we have a completely new society, etc. So if you talk when it's going to happen, there are several predictions. It was in the past thought about 2045. Now it is predicted to be 2060. But it doesn't matter at all. What matters is it's probably is going to happen in some decades. And in this path to arrive in this level, what we should do, we should mix with the artificial intelligence. So using this, becoming something like is hybrid, and then we arrive in this stage together, like an hybrid. If we don't do that, it's very complicated to keep the pace. And then when I say that, sometimes people think, oh, this is crazy. It's not. When you use a word processor, or when you use a search engine, you are incorporating all the functionalities of the word processor or the search engine or the car or the airplane, any technology. You are incorporating that. You are becoming a mix with that. So this is what I think we are going to do and we should do. And the challenge is exactly that. How can we mix with technology, keeping our humanity? So guaranteeing that we are not being overcome by non-ethical things or non-human things. So this is our biggest challenge. There are two other things that we need to consider in this evolution, and we should pay attention. The first thing is the three levels of AI. The second thing is the bodies, the robots. Sometimes we think just only about the AI, and the AI is like a brain. And if you don't have a body, you cannot manipulate the world. And if you cannot manipulate the environment, you cannot transform that. So this is very important to have bodies that can express this intelligence in the world. And robotics is a field also in very quick evolution. And the robots, in some things, in some tasks, they are much better than us. But we still are much better than robots in several other things as well. And then the third thing is what separates us from the robots and the machines in general are linguistics, the way we think and way we create concepts. Storytelling, there are some linguists that says that storytelling is what really separates men or humans actually from all other species and all other things, because when you pick up 3 or 4 shells or stones and you put all together as a necklace and say, I am the chief, or I am more beautiful, or something like this, you are going into conceptual words, and we are diving in conceptual words more and more. So this is something machines would need to grasp before arriving in our level or human level intelligence.
The only bad aspect of this would not only be that some of our tasks are being reduced by AI, and you just mentioned the fact that now we should also be concerned, or we are also being concerned with robotics, and there are a lot of companies developing robots that are able to perform human tasks. So we're, on one hand, we're not only concerned by them taking what we call our jobs, but with a handful of situations that could be perceived as unethical or even dangerous. And this opens a wider discussion on ethical implications of AI, and if we are actually able to ensure that it respects our social norms, or that the social norms that we are compelled to respect. So I wanted just to place you with two different questions and give you a free space for you to develop them. On one hand, it is, do we are we ready to develop a system that is in any way inclusive? And in the second, how can we mitigate potential biases and discrimination that can come from this?
Okay, and I'm going to pose another question, answer with a question. Okay, have we been able so far as humanity to develop an ethical society or that respects everybody? We are facing this nowadays, and actually we have never been able to develop a society that is 100% okay. We are struggling. So how can we do this and pass this through the machines without first fixing our own problems, our society? And this is why I think we have a huge homework to do before we keep developing these systems. Before thinking too much in the future, we need to guarantee that we are giving the right steps so we can arrive there. So this is a huge challenge. If we think about all the conferences I have been about AI or meetings about AI since 2018, this is the main topic. And how can we be ethical? The problem is not only the ethical part. We call this responsible AI, which includes ethical, moral, lawful, regulated by law, robust, reliable, and we cannot even have internet for everyone and reliable internet for everyone nowadays. So we can think about this like several levels of biases that we have when we develop a system, the AI system. The first one is data. To have intelligence, you need data. This is why now we are flourishing with AI, because we have a lot of data. In the past, we didn't have data enough. So our data are full of biases. We are trying to fix this before going on. The second level is the level of the algorithm. All algorithm is a method to arrive in a solution, and it has a goal, an objective, and this is someone's objective or a group objective. So this is biased. The other thing is the programmer. All programmer, when they are developing code, they have preferences. They choose some parameters or some things. It affects the results. And fourth is the social biases. One example of that, in 2018, I was in a conference about AI in Silicon Valley, and they are discussing a lot of ethical stuff and ethical things. How can we do that? Actually, to do that, we need to include everybody in the discussion. We need all the diversity talking about that, and everybody not only talking about but developing. We have to have programmers and people validating data and everything around the AI. And at that moment, I raised my hand and said, okay, so we should have a conference like this, not in Silicon Valley, but probably in Brazil, in Africa, in other places. For example, for me to go to a conference in Silicon Valley, this is 24 hours traveling, a ticket like $3,000. Silicon Valley is very expensive, $1,000 for a hotel for a night. And then you have to have visa and speak English. And so a lot of barriers to discuss about AI. So if we want to have or try to have sustainability, AI with human going to the right direction, we need to talk now and get people together now, discussing this more and more. And in this sense, this is why I like very much the letter, the open letter that Elon Musk and Harari and the other scientists were signing. Of course, it seems to be naive. We cannot stop the development or the training of large models, but it raises awareness. As I said before ChatGPT, AI seemed to be fiction for most people. After using AI all the time, one thing that people sometimes don't realize are the impacts or the consequences of using that. So it would be wonderful if we could think a little bit more or raise the awareness, bring everybody to discuss about this, so we could have a try in the right direction. The other things, other initiatives, Italy has banned ChatGPT for a while because of privacy concerns. There is also a website that several years now, more than 6-7 years, with the signs for ban autonomous weapons. You shouldn't ever kill a human. How can it decide who is the bad guy or the good guy? So there are several initiatives about that. And also there is a TED Talk that I like very much, that Sam Harris talked in 2016. And then he poses the question, can we build AI without losing control over it? So we have the power to control this very powerful thing we are creating. And the question he poses has an analogy like, if we knew that alien intelligence, super intelligence, would arrive the planet 5 decades from now, wouldn't we be preparing now to receive these aliens or to be in the same level or something like that? And we are living as it was the same way ever, instead of preparing for that. So we have a huge homework to do if we want to have or guarantee a sustainable future for humanity.
Martha, it has been a great conversation, like I was expecting. My expectations were as high as super intelligence, and you completely met my expectations. I'm very glad you joined us. Usually we finish our conversations with what we call a $1 million question. Instead, we wanted to take this time and give you some space to just send a message to all AI users and enthusiasts, and give you total freedom to say, can be, you don't say something controversial, or you're free to say something controversial if you feel you want to, but it's your free space.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. First, it was a pleasure, really wonderful when we can talk a little bit more. As we said in the last part of our conversation, it's important to have everybody on board. So this is a pleasure to be really here with you. And I would like to have 2 small pieces of reflection in the end. Those who work with software know that we have a saying that is, shit in, shit out. If you enter data that is not good, you are going to have bad results. So the results depend on what you feed your system. And when you have artificial intelligence, we are automating that. So please do not automate your shit. So this is one of the piece of advice. And the second thing is, not everything that we can do, we should do. We should think a little bit more as humans. This is what ethics is. Sometimes you can do some things, but you should not. And then we need to think a little bit more about that. And actually, if I can have a third reflection here, I like very much a quote from The Art of War, that if you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. And I think we need to know not the enemy, but AI is our friendly, I don't know, friendly enemy or something like that. We need to know what we are dealing with. We need to know which kind of AI we are working with. And also we need to understand ourselves, know ourselves, to know what we need to do, which skills we need to develop, so we can keep in the system, the intelligence in the system growing, and we being relevant on that. So that's it. Thank you so much. It was really, really a pleasure. And let's talk again soon. It will be another pleasure.
I hope we do. And if we are taking too long, we will for sure find another topic that we could discuss with you. Um, Martha, we will leave like always. We will leave this episode for our audience who are not able to watch us live. It will be in our social media along with your social media, so our audience can also check on your previous TEDx talks and also some content that you might be sharing on LinkedIn as well, so they can keep track of your studies and your articles and researches. And I hope they keep following us for next episodes. We are also developing and preparing very interesting conversations, like always, and like every talk we've brought so far. They have been amazing conversations. So I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope that soon we can find another topic to discuss.
Wonderful. It's very easy in all social media. I am Martha Gabriel, as you see the lettering under my face here, Martha with TH. And also I have a website. You can check books and everything. The decks, the links are all over there, which is martha with th.com.br, because I'm Brazilian, so BR like Brazil.
Great.
So much. And I wish everybody jump in this conversation and we can find the best way for Society 5.0. Let's go do this together.
Great. Thank you so much, Martha.